guys ready to get this panel started? All right, it is my absolute privilege to bring to the stage at this time, we have Nadji Jeter!
Hey, what's up, what's up, what's up? How y'all doing?
What's up, Nadji? How you
Y'all
doing?
look good, y'all look good. What's up, man?
Oh my God, I love it. And let's also bring up Amanda Miller!
Hey!
Trying not to trip and die on my dress.
Let's not do that.
Let you up there.
Okay.
Okay, y'all good? How's everybody doing? Good. It's my first time in Richmond, so
welcome.
Y'all gotta let me know where we going tonight. Where's the parties at?
I was telling you backstage, Guar Bar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you been, Amanda?
No, but I've been told about it.
Yeah, Guar Bar apparently is a thing. I don't know.
Guar,
It's right down. Have any of y'all been to Guar Bar?
Uh-oh.
Nobody. Cool. Oh,
we see
one.
Some. We see some.
Two.
We see some.
That's fun. I mean, I'm sure y'all travel so much that it's probably hard to get to really explore a city when you're, at a convention.
I'll try to find like cool, interesting things. Like I've heard of Guar Bar, and then there's like I always like doing ghost tours when I go to new cities.
Same.
It's a fun way to like see the architecture, see the city, get some spooky history. Like why not?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a ghostly encounter?
Yeah, but they're always lame.
Oh.
It's never like I saw an apparition. It's more like me and my sister were in an Airbnb, and neither of us claimed the fart. Like we heard there was one time we were sitting there and we both heard it, and I was like, it wasn't me, and she's like, it wasn't me, and so we're like, it was
a ghost.
Yeah, so like
Ghost.
very mediocre
It
ghost
is.
encounters.
I'm going to be using that from now on. I love that. Thank you so much.
Unclean ghost farts.
Yes. If we're taking away anything here from, this today. Anyway, this is so amazing. So the two of y'all have never done a panel before, so this is first time happening.
Yes.
Never together.
Never together.
together,
Well,
yes.
of course, yes. Never
we've done
together.
panels before.
Yeah, yes. We go way back. I mean, I remember the last panel I did with you was for Sailor Moon, which is amazing.
Wow.
Yes.
2014 maybe, 2015. It was a while.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute, but the first time for us here in Richmond. So I kind of wanted to get to know the two of y'all, and I wanted to know your backgrounds growing up. Were you guys big into playing video games?
I got into video games. Well, I liked Streets of Rage. I had a Sega Genesis, so I did play that with my sister. But I got into video games in high school because the guy I liked video games.
Uh-oh.
So that didn't work out. But I got I was bad at Halo. I got really good at DDR. Didn't impress the guys, but I got really good at it.
DDR. Yeah, I want to say I've always been a PlayStation baby. I mean, my whole life it's been PS1, PS2, PS3. But I mean, I had I was into racing games and fighting games. And then as I got older, it became, the Call of Duties and then the open world storyline games. And then The Last of Us came. And that was probably the first, full out story mode open world game I completed and finished, and I loved it. And then ever since then, I was just into it. But I turned my TV off at 15, 16, so try to get into a mental headspace that I needed to be at. And yeah, so I mean, I see my friends all playing, and I'm still there. Yeah. I'm still a game head at heart, man. Oh yeah.
Do you remember the first game? Because you mentioned The Last of Us, of course, which we need to delve more into that. But do you guys remember the first game that you ever completed, start to finish?
I mean, Candyland, or do you mean video game?
I'll take Candyland. I mean, video game. But yeah, Candyland is a great answer.
I mean, I don't even, this might not count, but Streets of Rage 2, but that's because I got a cheat code, because I can never get past, there was two characters named Heart and Big Boy, and they were these big dudes in overalls, and they'd blow fire at you. I couldn't really get past that, so I did have to use cheats, but I did finish that game.
We have some.
You won't tell.
Great.
Yeah, we have some people that know what you're
right.
talking about. Yeah. I want to say, I don't know if y'all know about this game, Def Jam Fighter New York. Okay, thank you. Okay, Def Jam, that was the first, man, I still have the game to this day. Yeah, I still have the game. I was probably 8 years old, and I was PlayStation 2 or 1. I think it was 2. Yeah, 2. So yeah, that was my baby.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
How about you?
Donkey Kong Country?
Yeah. Okay. That's not bad though.
That's not a bad
All
answer.
the way through?
Yeah, but I wasn't great at it. That railroad always got me. So.
Yeah, railroad.
That was a tough level, but yeah, I'm going to say Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong?
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you guys, and obviously you got to perform mocap as well, but I wanted to know, do you guys have any pre-recording rituals, anything you guys do before going into the studio?
No. People are like, oh, I warm up in my car, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm not a good professional, but I just like roll into the studio right on time, and like say, sorry guys, like I did with this panel.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep, sorry.
I pray, because I never know how it's gonna go. But you got to put all your effort into the booth, and I'm doing a lot of movement in there as well too, so I could leave with a back pain or a shoulder pain. I'm like, pull something, but that's why I just always, God, let me be all right and focus in this booth. Don't go too hard. And that's about it.
I think it's so incredible that people do have different processes, like whether it's prayer or nothing at all, that's still a process, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's still...
Yeah, rolling out of bed and just being like, showing up in your pajamas is definitely a process.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I do record from home, so... it's
Okay, you're still...
Yeah, I'm still... Yeah, I live in Georgia, so...
What part?
Atlanta.
I'm from the A.
Nice.
I'm from Atlanta.
All right.
Dirty Bird. Miss my Zaxby's.
I might need to get some recommendations from you, from a native.
I got you.
Zaxby's is like a...
Chicken
Yeah,
place.
Zaxby's is amazing.
Okay. You have Zaxby's?
We got Zaxby's out here?
Look at him,
There's
like,
a
he's lit
Zaxby's
up.
out here? No, there's not.
You were like licking
Where?
your lips.
5 to 10 minutes away?
He's
I
like-
believe you though, because I saw Bojangles on the way here.
Okay.
And I was like, I know I'm in the South. Here, there's a Bojangles. See, I can't do Popeyes anymore.
Wow. Oh, no?
I know, Popeyes is done. I don't know why. Yes, bad experience. Yep, you get me. But where do you have a Zaxby's? I'm sorry.
No, this is amazing. I'm like, the takeaways are farting, ghosts, and Zaxby's now. Like, this is the best panel ever. This is
Come
amazing.
on.
You're like, let's like leave the panel and just like make a field
We're
trip.
going to Zaxby's after this. We're going to Zaxby's. After
We all go? Like,
Wings
is that...
and things,
Agree? Like,
baby.
hands?
I know. I also wanted to mention, besides both of y'all also being from the Atlanta area, another thing y'all have in common is you guys feature a lot of really incredible cosplays on your social media. And I wanted to know what's been some of your favorite that you guys have gotten to see at a convention.
I always love it when people put a unique spin on something. Like I'm one of the characters in Danganronpa, I play Junko, and I was at a con in December called Holiday Matsuri, and so they have like Christmas versions of all these characters, and so they had one that was like a Krampus Junko, like just really cool creative spins on things, or or like I've seen like Mecha Jupiter before, like a Sailor Jupiter, where it's like almost like an armor, kind of like almost Voltron situation. Like that stuff's really cool to me.
It's amazing. People are so creative.
Yeah.
I want to say Zelda. Have y'all seen Zelda? Yeah, Zelda. Yeah. She has probably the top one I've seen. I've seen some amazing. This is my 5th con too, y'all. So I'm still building them up and still having experiences. But yeah, Zelda went all the way out for me. I see Miles is right there.
Aww.
I see the mask, baby.
Gosh,
I see the eyes. We might have to bring you up here, bro.
You can if you want.
We
There's no
can?
rules. No
Okay.
rules. Yeah. I have to know, like, what does that feel like for you? Like, this has to be pretty emotional when you guys see people emulating your characters.
I mean, it's pretty cool when people, because we're in a booth, a lot of times we're not with other actors or anybody, so we don't really see how it lands until you get to a con and you see all the people in your line dressed up as your character, or people will come up and say, like, hey, like really touching stories, like, because we're told, like, oh, you just do voiceover, but it can change people. Like, there's people who are like, I was really depressed, and I binged all of your show, and it helped me get through it. It helped me feel like I had friends for that time, or something like that. We've heard that for, like, Sailor Moon. Yep. Or there was a girl once who she started crying, and then she said, I used to watch this with my twin sister, and she passed away, but every time I watch Sailor Moon, I feel close to her. So, like, stuff like that's above just, like, oh, we're just entertainers. Like, it does really feel like we're part of something, which is nice.
And I definitely want to feed off her. Yes, it definitely is a great feeling of just being impactful for everyone, you know what I mean, and just what we can do. And times are changing, times are hard. Everyone went through the COVID stuff, so I know that was a big, time to be in the house and just be on games and just to indulge in your favorite shows. So just to see and hear the stories that we get, and yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. It does get emotional sometimes because we get from kids to adults to everybody, and it's just amazing. Like, it makes us go harder in the booth. It really does. Like, my first con, the next time I went back to work, they're like, what happened to you? I'm like, I had a con. I had a con, and that's why I'm in here. And I'm tunnel vision focused because I'm doing it for y'all, man. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Seriously.
No, and we appreciate it, and that's why cons are so magical. Is
Seriously,
like, you know, we get to know you, whether it is through watching shows or playing video games, and you know.
Love y'all, man. For real. For real. For real.
Yay for all of us.
Yeah.
We deserve Zaxby's later.
Exactly. Yeah, we're going to Zaxby's.
Check under your seats. There's a bucket of Zaxby's.
I don't think I won't.
I know, right? I'm like,
I wish.
I'm so crazy Zaxby's.
Amanda, I wanted to ask you something that I thought was like really adorable, and one of my favorite things I've ever seen was on your website. It says that you are a professional dork.
Yes.
And I would like to know what qualifies someone to be a professional dork.
I believe I said part-time dork.
Part-time?
Yeah, I don't think I'm qualified to be full-time.
Okay.
Like, let's see. I mean, I'm just weird. It's not so much like nerd, it's dork.
It's dork.
Yeah.
It's unique, though. I don't want to say weird. You know?
You guys don't know me. I get pretty weird.
You haven't seen nothing yet.
I'm trying to think of like what the weirdest things I've done lately is. Nope, can't say that. I don't know. I'll think of it like when I'm in the shower tonight and be like, ugh.
Oh, that's what it was.
Done.
But I'm just like a
Or you
weirdo. I
probably
just
would do it.
I'd always make like videos and stuff growing up, but just completely like can't say that. Sorry, bonkers stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I love it. I love the work around there, but
I'm
we
like,
got through it.
Family panel. Okay.
Fair enough, yeah.
I'm trying to think of like the weirdest things I've dressed up as.
Oh, okay.
Like for like sketches or something like that. Like I'll just film stuff. My friends were like, we thought you were having a mental breakdown. I'm like, no, I was just having fun, man. I would just like film weird characters. Like, I think there was one time where I was a character and I named her like Maisie Mayhem, and she was like this like rocker, and she was just telling this story, and I just improv for like 8 minutes about the time I met Richard Simmons once. I didn't meet him, but I was just like, it's just like this like.
Went in.
And I think there were mermaids in the story. It was like a whole weird situation, but maybe that's not dorkiness. Maybe that's just mental illness.
It's just
I think it's creativity is what it is.
Sure, let's go with that.
Yeah.
Tell my
that's
therapist
what
that.
it is. Sure, I will. I was gonna say, what were you guys like in school? Like, did you already know that you had the ability to use your talents as a profession?
I was okay. Well, I was homeschooled for all my high school experience. Homeschooled since 4th grade, to be honest. But when I was in school, and this was in Atlanta, I used to be the mascot for Atlanta Hawks.
Really?
Yeah, for from age 7 to age 10. So I was like, you know, going to school and then going to the games, dressing up as, you know, they had Big Harry the Hawk and Little Harry the Hawk. Of course, I was Little Harry. So I was getting in trouble at school, long story short, because I had long nights of performing in front of, you know, Phillips Arena, 80,000 people, and then being a kid and waking up in the morning for school and falling asleep in class and trying to, you know, keep myself up. So yeah, I mean, I got some not class clown, but I was, you know, a little rambunctious. So then we went out to LA, and my mom was like, we're just gonna homeschool you. We're gonna just keep you inside the house. But yeah, I mean, I love school too. Like get your education, you know. School is how you learn yourself in this world, you know, how your friends, everything you want to do, everything you want to be in life, you get that from your education. So, you know, stay in school. Stay in school.
It's weird because like internally I was the class clown, but I was always trying to like, you know, make everybody happy. So I had this weird blend where like I got good grades, but I also goofed off. But because I got good grades, I guess the teachers let me do what I want. So it's kind of like a charmed life.
Yeah.
Like somebody else would get in trouble for doing the exact same thing. Like we weren't allowed to have water in schools because they thought it might be something else in high school.
Oh.
You couldn't have like a plastic water bottle
Yeah,
or something.
vodka or
Yeah,
something,
and so they were like. But I could like walk by the principal, be like, "Sup?" and they're like, "Oh, you." So like I kind of had like a pretty good high school experience. Pretty good.
Did you go to high school there?
I was an Air Force kid, so I moved all over the place. So I didn't move to Georgia till 2018.
Okay.
But yeah,
Nice.
It's like Maryland, Florida, Germany. But yeah, I really liked school. I was like a weird dork. I didn't like doing the homework, so a lot of times I would skip the homework, but I would just do really well on like the tests because I knew the stuff. I just didn't like the busy work, which I'm sure being homeschooled, that's probably really nice because I imagine they don't give you all the busy work, or no?
Don't get behind. Don't slack off. When you slack off, that's when it happens. That's when you're like, oh, this is 2 weeks worth I have to do in one day. Okay. But yeah, no. It was good. Yeah, we had independent studies, and that was a little more because I did like 3 different homeschool programs. So the last one I did was independent studies, and it was a little bit better because we actually got to go in and see a teacher and got to, conversate with other kids. I went to a little star-studded little high school in the independent studies. Like I graduated with Zendaya and Cameron Boyce and a lot of people like that. So they were all in my class. So it was a crazy experience. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right?
Well, I wanted to ask you, since we did have Miles sitting in the audience, outside of maybe the obvious Spider-Man abilities, what is your favorite, I guess, let's say, human quality about Miles?
Wow. Oh, human quality about Miles. Oh, man. I mean, he's your everyday kid. Like, he's not... he's not, an egotistic type of guy. He's not, he's not a jerk. He's just your everyday guy that, is just growing up in life and, becoming a kid and learning his ability, to become responsible with what he has. So, I want to say that's a great question. I want to just say his humility, I guess. You know what I mean? Just, him being so humble and just him being just that kid because, with all the roles that I had to endure, like this one was just me being myself and me just, bringing myself to life, and they loved it. And they're like, that's Miles. I'm like, all right. So yeah, this Miles is, I get to be myself, and that's like the most amazing part about it. Like, it's crazy.
That's awesome. Very cool. And before we do get to questions from the crowd, I wanted to ask both of you guys, do you guys, and I know you also write, Amanda, which I think is so wonderful. So I wanted to kind of know about other elements of the voiceover acting world that you guys are interested in as well.
You mean, you said voiceover acting as in like / like also acting?
Well, I think I guess actor is kind of just the general
coverall.
Yes.
Yeah. I definitely want to create and write my own stuff. I do like sketch comedy and whatnot, but one day I want to have like the money to do like feature films. I really want to do like kind of like a Reno 911 would be really cool, where it's like a semi-scripted thing where you just get a bunch of talented improv actors together and we're just having a blast. That would be really great. I feel like Jordan Peele probably has the career, the like trajectory I want, because I like horror, but I also love comedy. So I think that'd be really, really cool to be a creator, or like a, like a Tina Fey or something.
I see you doing that.
Yeah.
I definitely see you doing that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Keep building that up.
Especially because I feel like right now Hollywood has like no ideas. So like anybody who has new ideas, they're like, oh, sure, yeah, no, come on in.
Go for it. Well, I know Jordan just announced his newest film, right? That's going to be out Christmas, I believe.
What's it called?
Nothing. Just
Nothing?
We don't know yet.
Oh, shit.
We'll find out though.
Well, he hasn't missed yet.
No,
I mean,
he's insanely incredible.
Yeah. Creative.
Yeah.
Super creative.
To say the least.
Yeah, exactly.
And what about you? Do you like the idea of like writing, producing any?
Yes. I have a comic book coming.
Nice.
I have 3 feature films I'm writing right now. And it's just a process of just writing. Every day I write. I write music as well. I have my own label, my own production company. So I'm just keeping myself busy. It's when you're growing up in this world, you realize there's literally no limit. So it's just like you could do anything. You put your mind to it. Once you put that tunnel vision focus and you put your heart into it, whatever it is, you can do it. So if you want to make a movie, write that movie. You want to make a show, come up with the plot, think about the characters. It's easy. I mean, it's easy and fun. It's fun. Like that's the main thing you got to get at it. Like, whatever you want to do in life, get the fun out of it, and that's going to make you go far. Yeah.
I love that.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
Thank you.
All right. So I did mention we have a microphone for whatever questions you guys may have. It doesn't seem like too much is off limits here today. So.
Who's our first contender?
Oh.
Oh.
Sneak attack.
We seen him coming too.
All right. What's your name?
Oh, my name's Aaron.
Aaron. What's up, my boy?
What's going on?
What's up, my boy?
So my question is for both of you. Whenever you do like voice acting, do you ever take like, I guess, personal experiences for depending on the characters?
I would say yeah, because I think with any kind of acting in general, whether it's theater or on camera, there's times where you have a hard time locking into an emotion if you haven't experienced that. So sometimes you'll use substitution, which is like, I've never lost a child, but like I've lost people I love or whatever. Like, so a lot of times you'll use stuff like that where you bring in that feeling if you're having a hard time locking in.
Yes, for sure. And just to piggyback off that, yes, definitely experiences to take from. But also, yeah, with voice acting, you got to just realize it's more than just the words, it's the whole surrounding, it's the environment, it's how you're moving, it's all that involved in the voice too. So yeah, you take all that and you make it happen, and it comes out, you know what I mean? So yeah, you take your experiences, you read, okay, if you're standing outside in the alley and it's cold or whatever, you know what I mean? Okay, so if you're cold, how do you sound when you're cold a little bit? You start shaking, you know what I'm saying? So it's you're putting everything into it, your physical, your physicality, your mental, all that stuff.
It's a good way of phrasing it. I always tell people, because a lot of people are like, oh, I want to be a voice actor, but then they're like, do I have to act? And it's like, well, yeah, I feel like voice acting is it's in the name, but also voice acting is, I think, one of the harder ones because you don't have other actors to play off of. Like on camera, I could look at you and you feed off of each other.
React, yep.
Whereas in the booth, it's you and a script, and you maybe hear the director over your headphones, and you're having to envision the other actors, you're having to envision the set, you're having to envision the costumes.
For sure.
If there's special effects, you're shooting lasers out of your hands, or you're getting eaten by a dragon or something. That's all in your head. So
from building to building.
So that's why it's so important. And I'm sure somebody will ask the question at some point about how do we get into it? But acting classes are the best foundation you could have, because that's how you're going to build that imagination muscle.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Excellent question.
Hey, Ron.
Te quiero, Miles.
Yeah, te quiero.
What's your name?
My man.
Hang on, let me adjust this here. Hi, I'm Connor.
What's up, Connor?
So I'm a voice actor as well. And first off, I laughed when he said, he's like, do you have to actually act to be a voice actor? Just, oh boy, that question. So speaking of which, it was kind of two-part, but really one. So one, how much of your work is remote versus in studio? And second, for those who don't have an option to do in studio, what type of mic would you recommend them getting, shotgun or condenser?
I mean, I would say condenser, unless you're doing live action dubbing. If you're seeing Netflix shows where they try to dub them into every language. So those, they tend to use a shotgun, because I guess it sounds more like a boom mic that they would use in the studio, so it sounds closer to the original. But other than that, I would say definitely condenser. I don't think you should start out with a super expensive one until you start booking work. So the mic I might recommend for that I use is not going to be the one that I would recommend somebody who's getting started use. Just because why would you spend $2,000 on a mic when you could spend $200 and get a pretty decent value out of it. So you were asking how much is remote. So for me, it's all remote because I'm in Georgia now, but I will say a lot of people think that, because we went remote during COVID, that means you can start a career remotely. And I'm not 100% sure, because I'm seeing a lot of studios, especially in LA, that are starting to be we'd like you to be in person. There's still that relationship that they want you to build. So I don't know if I have as much advice there on, if you can't get into the studio, what to do. I would say if you want to have a career in it, maybe consider spending a year or two in LA or Dallas or wherever they're going to record this stuff, so you can at least build those personal relationships so that they can trust you, because that's the big part of this industry, is that they just need to know that you're good and that they can trust you and that you're not crazy. And they might not know that if they've never met you and they just hire you sight unseen remotely. So.
Yeah,
Well, how much of your work is remote in the studio?
We're in every day. It used to be we're at home, but that was during all the COVID stuff. But no, we're in every day, and I do the mocap as well too. So we got to put the suit on and the dots and the face and the camera, all that stuff. So we're locked in there. We're locked in. Remote, I haven't done much remote. Yeah, I haven't done much remote. So that's what I was saying. Hey.
And they were not willing to do that until 2020.
Yeah.
I moved in 2018 and 2019. I had to fly my butt back and forth on my own dime to do every single session. So they were so anti-remote. That's kind of funny that now they're more open to it, but I don't know if you'd be able to be as successful if you weren't physically there in person to make those first impressions.
And I used to be scared, am I sending it in right? When they would have to Zoom, because I'm not the most tech savvy. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm not. So when I'm working the computer, I'm okay, I know how to do music stuff, but sending in the vocal, I'm okay, yeah, I need help with all this. But no, they ended up just keeping us in the studio, because like I said, we have a lot of movement in the game. So we're swinging, we're fighting, we're all that stuff while we're saying it, and sometimes you can't get that full, especially if you're in your room, and they gave us a box, so it's like you can't really do much. So yeah, they're like, nah, we just got to go back to the studio. Yeah.
All right, thank y'all for your time.
Connor.
Great question. Just a really quick follow-up. So when you are doing mocap, is it typically multiple people in a room, or is it just you at a time?
Yeah. So mocap, that is more typically like a scene. We have the other actors there. We have our director, our creative director, and the writers, and then the people that are behind the computers. So yeah, it'll be like an 8 to 5, usually from 8 to 5, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and then we're just knocking out scenes, knocking out all the cinematic scenes, and then we're getting all the physicality, the stunts, the flipping, all that stuff for that day. And those sessions are a lot of work. Yeah, you leave with some scars maybe if you really go too hard that day. You can leave with some cuts and bruises, but it makes you like, oh yeah, this is what we're doing it for. I love it. Like we're adrenaline heads when we're in there. So yeah.
Awesome. Good to know. All right, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Genevieve.
Hey, Genevieve.
Amanda, I wanted to ask you specifically, how did you originally find out about the Danganronpa gig, and how did that audition go?
So that one came through Bang Zoom Entertainment. So that was a studio that I started at as an intern, and they kind of threw me in the booth because they knew I was an actor. I was a theater major in college, and so they were like, "All right, go in the booth and do like background stuff." So I'd be like every girl in the hallway in was it Haruhi Suzumiya movie, I think. It was just me talking to myself, and they just layered it so make it sound like background noise. And then they're like, okay, she doesn't suck. So then they like let me have little one-line parts here and there, being like the waiter or whatever. And so eventually I booked more and more. And then I think Danganronpa came maybe like 1 or 2 years into maybe 2 or 3 years into like my voice acting career, and so they sent me that audition. I auditioned for Toko and Junko. I think those were the only 2 I auditioned for, and I knew ahead of time what role that they were. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but I kind of knew like what the trajectory of those characters were. But it was really weird because I don't know if you know this for Danganronpa fans, but those characters, like I share custody of them basically. So I voice Toko, and then Erin Fitzgerald voices Genocide, and then I'm like 5 of Junko's personalities and she's 3 of them. And we asked them later, like, why did you cast it that way? And they're like, I don't know, the guy who made the decision doesn't work here anymore. So we'll never know. But yeah, it was really fun. I just like most of those auditions at the time, I'd record in my closet. So I just recorded them in my closet, emailed in an MP3, and then you hear back or you don't. And so for those, I heard back, and it was a really fun experience to record it. It was a theater major's dream.
Yeah, how did that feel to get both of the roles that you auditioned for?
It's a pretty nice feeling when you're like, all right, I'm 2 for 2. Like, you're like, you can't get enough of me. But yeah, it's always a blast to be chosen. I guess that's, I don't know. I feel like actors, we always have a little bit of a.
And you had a dope story. I didn't know you started off as an intern in Bang Zoom.
Yeah.
We were doing,
I was getting people's coffee, and I was emptying trash cans, and there was one time one of the engineers had a nasty habit of spitting in the trash cans, so that was fun.
One in Burbank.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So I started from the bottom. Now we here.
That's dope. That's a dope story.
That's a rap thing, right?
Yeah, you did the thing. That was an awesome question. To follow up with that as well, do you know, like, in a day, do you know the amount of voices, or like what's the most amount of voices that you ever got to do in a day, or most amount of different characters?
Maybe 5 or 7 or something. Ooh, you're not supposed to do that much now. Now there's like union rules where you're only supposed to do like 4 in a day, or they have to pay you more.
Really?
Have they done that? you might be owed a check. Yeah, I mean, usually it's like there's like a main character, but then they might have you do incidentals, which is like the waiter, or like, hey, we just need to do these 2 lines as this little boy. Now you're gonna play this school teacher. Now you're gonna play a couple people in this crowd scene. So like stuff like that. So it's not like 7 major characters, but it's more like you have your main character. They don't ask me to do that a ton though, because I have I guess a distinctive voice. So like in Boruto, they're like, well, they don't ask me to voice other little boys in the show, because they're like, well, crap, it's gonna sound like Boruto, or like the girls will sound kind of like Boruto. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And then I actually wanted to ask the same. How did you come across the role of Miles?
Oh, wow. Well, it started on Disney XD. We started off on the Amazing Spider-Man, and that we lasted for like 2-3 years, and then Disney had their transition to the Disney Plus, and then they brought us over to PlayStation. And I want to say I was like 19 19 or 20 when I first got Miles. I'm 26 now, so it's like, yeah, we've been locked in with Miles for a long time, and we're still growing. We're still going up, baby. We're still going up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank
you
you
guys.
so much. Thank you.
What's your name?
Hi, my name is Jasira. I came very late, so you guys probably answer this question. Jasira.
Jasira.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Hi. I just want to ask, how did you guys, like, in order to get into voice acting, I'm pretty sure, of course, you may have to do a little bit of school, but did you have to have, like, connections and, like, who do you really contact? Do you have to contact, like, for example, Warner Bros? Do you just contact there?
It's a little harder than that. I think that's kind of the catch-22 of this industry is you have to have contacts to get in, but you don't get contacts until you get in. So it's kind of like trying to figure out.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes you'll do it through classes. Like let's say, that's why I always say if you take an acting class, try to study with somebody who's currently working in the industry because they either might, if you're good, they might refer you to a casting person if they think like, hey, you're a good student, I'm going to send you to this person. Or maybe the other classmates in the class might someday get bigger and be able to like pull you through those doors. I don't know. Like you have to know people. Like that's the problem.
Yeah, definitely. Agent. You start there. The typical cliche. But agent and managers typically just kind of work for you, kind of try to get you to work and then build you up from there. So it does take your first steps of putting that work in for the acting class, getting your rocks up, you know what I mean, getting all your ammo and getting your everything together. And then you go find that agent, and the agent, no, you're not supposed to pay any agent. Don't pay no agent, don't pay no manager. If anyone asks you to pay them, that's a scam. Yeah, it's a huge scam. Okay, so yeah, you don't ask, they just get you work. So you find a reliable agent, out here, and like you said, you can find somebody that's also working that you get advice from, and you just go about it. You have that drive and you have that focus. But typically it's not as the music industry. The music industry, yes, you have to know connections. That right there is a more of a connection type of building up. There's who you know what I mean, to get in. But the acting in the film industry is, you kind of build up yourself, it's good to also know people. It's also good to know, people, but to guide you.
You're saying schooling too. I don't think you don't need to go to like college or anything. You don't need a degree to be an actor, but you do need some sort of training. Like with any other thing, if you're going to be a chef, you're not just going to be like, hey, I want to be a chef. I like cooking or I like eating food, so I'm probably going to be good at it. You got to take the classes, whether it's acting, improv, any sort of thing that's going to help you train your instrument. Singing is always really helpful. Improv.
Improv is the number one key because that works your mind. Like that right there. Because the improv, you just come up with something on the spot. Like right now, me and her have a whole improv conversation, and they can film it and be like, "This was scripted," but it wasn't. So improv is very, very mental. So yeah, improv classes are really good. And they're fun.
They'll throw stuff at you in the booth that was not in the script, or they'll be like,
Yes.
I don't know, like, what do you think?
read.
Or they'll say like, sometimes you'll audition for one character and then you show up, they're like, so actually we're giving you another character, one that you've never seen, you don't know anything about them, and you have to be able to just be like, yes, and let's go. And also now they're Swedish instead of British, and you're like, yep, okay. You just have to
Can
be like,
you do a Swedish accent?
yeah, just go with the flow.
I was also going to say, I feel like coming to these conventions is also a networking opportunity because you can meet people working on things right now. And, there's a lot of outlets too. You can put things on YouTube, you can put things on the internet and just create from there and choose your own destiny.
He's right. We are definitely in a great independent era of, building things up like YouTube, everyone on social media, Instagram. You got the Instagram comedians. I have a few favorites of my own that everyone is just, just doing it themselves, putting up that camera and putting up that work, showing the world what they want to do. So.
Yeah, most definitely. Like, if you don't mind me asking, I know you're a part of Danganronpa. I'm sorry, I don't know you guys' names, but what character did you voice, just out of curiosity?
I'm Junko and Toko in the video games. I'm not in the anime.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you for your questions.
Yes.
Best of luck. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Andrew.
Andrew.
This question is for Nadji.
What's up?
So you were originally a child actor, such as you were in a movie in Grown Ups.
Yes, sir.
So what made you decide to be an actor and do mocap for video games such as The Last of Us and Spider-Man?
Yeah, great question, man. Great question. Everything was going great with the filming, and Grown Ups had happened, and then that was going up, and then The Last of Us came. That was my first video game ever. I didn't know anything about mocap or voiceover. I actually was horrible at voiceover, y'all. I wasn't getting no voiceover work. I was actually scared of voiceover auditions. I used to talk fast. I'm from Atlanta, so I had a little accent growing up, and I had to get out of that. I had to get in speech classes, all type of stuff. So I hated voiceover for a long time. And then The Last of Us came, and Neil Druckmann, our director, the creative director, shout out to Neil Druckmann, he saw, just how animated I was about being in this apocalyptic world, and he didn't tell me too much, but he was like, okay, the city's burned down, we're in a big room like this with no chairs, and he's like, okay, the city's burned down, that's a car, that's a building, run from here to there. And I'm like, what kind of audition is this? I'm like, what? He's like, all right, and then we'll start the lines, but I need you to run and jump, and you're under fire. I'm like, all right, cool. So I did it, and he was like, damn, you're fast. He was like, whoa. He was like, and I see that you're really into it. So that imagination, I kind of just stuck with. And then after The Last of Us happened, we seen the success of that. And then Miles came, I want to say, 5 or 6 years after that, and I just wanted to stick with it. I just wanted to, take a break from, the scripts, and then just be all fully indulged into Miles for y'all, so I can build the character up the best way I can. Yeah, so.
Doing a great job back
Thank you, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
To follow up, Amanda, I want to know what's been the most unique audition experience that you've had.
Yeah.
I think I had one similar to that,
Yeah.
and they gave me a big prop bazooka. That was really fun.
Yeah.
Oh, there's got to be some weirder ones though. I'm just maybe I blocked them out, trauma response. You're I don't want to remember that.
Sure, trauma.
Oh man. There's been some weird ones. I think sometimes directors will throw weird stuff at you where they're do they just want to see if you're flexible? They don't actually. They're not going to make you do the character this way. But I've had times where cool, can you do it like a duck now? like serious lines, and you're just like a duck, or can you do it more purple? But yeah, it's mostly just weird directions, not so much weird auditions. Oh, well, I'm sure there's been weird ones I've done on camera. What am I talking about? Yeah, commercial auditions are pretty weird. When
commercial auditions are weird.
You're
Commercial auditions are weird.
What's the weirdest one I had? I think I had one where it's you had to, but you have to mime stuff, right? They're like, can you eat Progresso soup, but you don't have nothing there, and you're like,
yeah.
It's that kind of stuff. Where
No, she's spot on with that.
You're I went to theater school for this.
And then I want to let y'all know that all the commercials y'all see with food and stuff, the food is cold, it's not cooked all the way, it's crazy. And then when you have to eat it, I did a McDonald's commercial.
Okay. That
was the first time I learned about the spit bucket. You know about a spit bucket?
I don't think I've eaten in a commercial before. I had to pretend to drink beer once.
Don't. No, don't. Yeah, no. So we had a spit bucket. So when you're doing a commercial and you're eating, you have to do so many takes and it's back to back. So they give you a spit bucket to. All that, it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, you gotta. Commercial auditions are weird.
Yeah. You drive all the way across town. It's 2 hours in Santa Monica kind of traffic. It's just stand in front of the camera, do profile, show them your
200
hands.
South La Brea. 200 South La Brea. You been
200
there?
South.
200 South La Brea.
But yeah, it's there's some weird.
It's an inside thing.
I think there was one time I had to pretend to be scared of something and trip over a couch that didn't exist.
Yeah.
Stuff like that where you're just what am I doing? But I booked it. But I was yeah.
Great job.
That's amazing. I love this. This is great.
Yeah.
All right, we got time for a couple more questions. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Jamie.
Hi.
Me.
What is the best advice you could give to someone who's first starting to be a voice actor?
A lot of advice to give. The best advice, that might be hard to distill, but I think one of them is have other hobbies. Don't make acting your entire thing, because if you put all your eggs in that basket, you can't control whether or not you book something. You might be super talented, super trained, and you just might not have the right look or the right sound for that project. And it doesn't mean you're not good, but if you base my whole worth is whether or not I'm an actor, then you're just going to be miserable. Versus being oh yeah, I also like pottery, or I also I don't know, cheese making. You have other hobbies, so that if acting stuff comes along, you're like, great, awesome, but it's not like you're sitting around waiting for that call, because it could be, I don't think I've booked like an animation thing in like a year. Like I booked some anime stuff here and there, I booked some video game stuff, but like there's just times where you're just not gonna book things because there's thousands of other people you're up against. Casting might not even listen to your auditions. That's the sad thing, is like you'll put all this time into it, and a lot of times they might listen to the first 10 or 20, and it's not about you. So I guess that's another piece of advice, is that don't take it personally. Don't take the rejection personally. It's not like they heard your voice and was like, ugh, like chuck that. Like it was more like, no, like, so that would be, maybe also don't be scared if you have imposter syndrome, because I think we all have that, and I don't think it ever really goes away. So if you have it, don't think anything's wrong with you, I don't know, do you have it?
I don't know. It kind of died away, but I don't know. I want to piggyback off you. No, definitely have another hobby, because it also helps you, put other experiences into that scene, if that makes sense. So if you do a scene, or you're going over something and it's over rehearsed, or it's you're doing just make it natural. You have other hobbies that you could take that energy from doing those other hobbies and be more natural into what you got to do and what you got to say. So everything is environmental too. So just take it in, be yourself, be natural, have fun, relax. Don't ever be over too rehearsed, or unless it's like the drama. I don't want to say I don't have too much fun if it's like a crying scene.
Right.
Somebody's dying. That's
but
bad.
It's like you said, but though. Yeah. Like it gives you more. If you have more life experiences to pull into a performance, it's going to make a better performance. Because there's some people who just focus only on the craft. They've only ever hung out with other actors. They only ever take acting classes. They don't really have life experience to draw from. And acting is supposed to be, you're representing the entirety of the human experience, and you can't do that if you're like, I've never worked on a farm or something, so you wouldn't know how to play like a redneck farmer or something like that. So just collect a bunch of weird experiences you can draw from.
Awesome. Great question. All right, I think we got time for two more. All right, what's your name?
My name is Miles.
What's up, Miles? What's going on, man?
Hey, nothing much, man. I have a question for Nadji, and the question is this. If you could play any other character in the Spider-Man universe, who would you choose and why?
Venom.
Ooh, that's a good choice.
Venom.
That's a good one.
So to leave you with that. Venom. Are you ready for the second one?
It's just one question, man.
Oh, okay. No, I meant the second game.
Looking forward to
You
it.
ready for that second game, bro?
Yeah.
All right. You better get ready.
Are you dropping spoilers
Get
right
ready.
now?
I know. Is that what's happening?
And I'm like, is he like hinting that he's gonna play Venom in the new
No.
game or something?
I know you was joking.
No, but get ready, Miles. Miles to Miles.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, I'm actually playing Venom in the new game. But I'm just doing it like a New Yorker lady who's just like, all right, Spider-Man.
I love it. I'm into it.
anyway.
I'm playing that game. Go ahead.
Hi, me again.
Yes.
Hey, Genevieve.
I'm not actually sure if I'm allowed to ask this, but we're going to try anyways. I have a younger sister who is very upset that she could not come because she is a massive Sailor Moon fan. And I was wondering if you could say hi, Bree, in the Sailor Jupiter voice, and if not, just hi, Bree in general.
So hi, Bree.
Hi, Bree.
Do you want to film it or something? Or?
Yep, she's filming.
Oh, hi. I mean, the voice is not too different from mine, but so Bree, like B-R-I. That's my little sister's nickname. Okay. Hi, Bree. Remember, always keep bringing that thunder. Sorry, it's cheesy, but.
Yeah.
Like it felt weird to just be like Jupiter power, and just like after being like, hi, Bree.
From Lady Venom herself. That was amazing. That was
I
wonderful.
had so many. I had to learn about Sailor Moon because there was a girl that I liked that was a huge Sailor Moon fan.
So you pulled me in me in high school. Where you get into it just because you have a crush on someone.
Yeah.
Did it work?
Out.
No.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't work out. But that's what I found out about Sailor Moon. I'm like, oh.
Did you like watch a lot of it, or did you learn
No.
enough about it to be able to be like, oh yeah, episode
learned
27, that was pretty great.
Learned enough.
Okay. Clearly not enough. That's why it didn't work.
I know. It was all bad.
So before we do wrap it up, do we have a photographer? Are we taking a stage selfie? Is that happening? Oh, okay.
Hey.
So why don't we do that first?
Miles, I want you up here, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
If it's okay
Put
with
the
you
mask
guys, we're
on.
going to take the GalaxyCon selfie. So if you guys want to come to the front of the stage,
Let's do it.
very calmly, we're going to take a picture with all of you guys.
Don't be shy. We don't bite. I
might.
might stink a little bit, but no, I'm good.